The 5-7 Dallas Cowboys are set to face the 4-8 Cincinnati Bengals on Monday Night Football. The Bengals head to AT&T Stadium for another primetime game in Arlington, Texas. Both of these teams have not had the best start to the year. Dallas is still somehow in the playoff hunt, and the Bengals' playoff hopes have kind of dwindled over the past few weeks with a couple of losses. That doesn't mean it's going to be smooth sailing for Dallas, because Cincinnati is a really scary opponent for this 2024 Cowboys team, and I'm really worried about it, so let's get into the video. Now, before we start talking about these two teams in this matchup, let's discuss some injury updates. Let's get into a few of the key injuries, and I say few because it is relative to how many injuries we've talked about with this Dallas team. Josh Butler, the cornerback that played well against Washington, he's out for the season with an ACL tear, another hit to the Cowboys defensive back room. Then you have Wanye Thomas, the safety. He had a meniscus injury against the Giants on Thanksgiving. Luckily, he avoided anything major that would hold him out for the rest of the season. He's expected to miss 2 to 3 weeks. On Monday, because the Cowboys haven't started practicing yet at the time of making this video, McCarthy gave us a little bit of insight into who should be coming back this week. DeMarcus Lawrence and Tyler Guyton are in the rehab group for now, which isn't great for their chances of playing. McCarthy also said that he's hopeful Diggs will do some work this week, ramp it up as it goes on, but again, not great if Diggs doesn't get in there at least a little bit this week. Doesn't really bode well for him playing in this game. And finally, Jake Ferguson is close to coming back, whatever that means. So, like every week since week 1, quite a few key names on that list. Then for the Bengals, Zach Taylor said after the Steelers game that he was hoping to get Logan Wilson back from his knee injury. Orlando Brown Jr., the tackle, has been playing through quite a few injuries this year. He's been out there on the field, but that was kind of with the Bengals having their playoff hopes still alive. It'll be interesting to see how they kind of sort through that as their playoff hopes dwindle more and more. And then defensive lineman Sheldon Rankins has been fighting an illness that costed him a couple of games already this year. We should know more about his status as the week continues. See if those guys are going to be a go. Now, these two teams are in completely different situations. Although their records are very similar, and I think as a whole, these two teams are similar. The Cowboys are on a 2-game winning streak with recent wins over the Commanders and the New York Giants. The Bengals, on the other hand, are on a 3-game skid. And usually, when you look at a team that's 4-8, even if you are the 2024 Cowboys, you're not really that worried, right? I mean, 4-8, they can't really be that good. You would be wrong. The Bengals are good. Well, at least the offensive side of the ball is good. Let's look at these two teams by the numbers. The Bengals have lost 3 games in a row. In those games, they have scored 38 points, 27 points, and 34. Alarm bells should be going off in your head right now. To say that the Bengals have a defensive problem would be an understatement, okay? They're rivaling how bad the Cowboys' defense is. In 6 of the Bengals' 8 losses this year, they have scored more than 25 points. In 2 losses, they've scored more than 38, 3 with more than 34, and then 4 with 33 plus. All of those numbers, scoring that many points, are the most ever, or at least tied for the most ever, and we still got quite a few games to go. That is absolutely atrocious, and we thought the Cowboys defense was bad. Am I right? Yeah, they're almost the same defense, statistically. The Bengals and Cowboys are tied in 3rd place with the most touchdowns given up this year. The Cowboys are 31st in EPA per play defensively. The Bengals are 29th. The Bengals are also 29th in EPA per pass allowed. Dallas is a little bit better at 18th overall. Just by the numbers, these defenses are almost identical. Where Dallas has the upper hand is rushing the passer. The Cowboys are much better at pressure rate than the Bengals. And as we're going to talk about in just a moment, that might be what helps them win this game. Before we continue, I wanted to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video, BETUS. They have much more than just football, basketball, baseball, hockey, tennis, even surfing. I mean, You name it, BETUS has it. But we all really like football around here, and they have NFL futures like the Super Bowl winner, conference winners, division winners, playoff specials, all of those fun future odds. They have you covered. The possibilities really are endless with BETUS. If you sign up today, you'll get a 150% deposit bonus on your first deposit and a 125% bonus on your next two. So go check out BETUS, where the game begins. Let's talk about that matchup. The Bengals passing game versus the Dallas pass defense. Maybe the single biggest key to this game is going to be slowing down Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins. That is where Cincinnati makes their money, through the air. And it's simply what this game probably comes down to. The Bengals can score a ton of points if this offense starts rolling. And if that happens, this could be a pretty ugly game. For Dallas, though, the one saving grace might be Micah Parsons and the Dallas pass rush. Put all of your focus into the passing game because the Bengals haven't run the ball all that well this year. They're 22nd in rushing EPA and 25th in 10-plus yard runs. They're not breaking off explosive plays on the ground. Not like the Lions, who can just destroy your defensive line up front for 4 straight quarters. Bengals are just going to dice you up through the air. A little bit more finesse. Micah Parsons, Chauncey Golston, whoever, they're going to have to do everything that they can to get Joe Burrow off his spot. That's kind of the only way to shut down this passing attack. If you give Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins time, no one is going to stop them consistently. It hasn't really happened this year. So that's why the pass rush is going to be really important in this game. You can't leave your corners out to dry. Got to get consistent pressure, force Joe Burrow off his spot a little bit, and you then have a chance. Now let's talk about the other side of the ball, the Cowboys offense versus them scoring points. As we talked about earlier, the Bengals defense isn't good. They've allowed a ton of yards, a ton of points. They've played in shootouts and have gotten beaten up all year long. It's not even the Dallas offense versus the Bengals defense. They can score points on that unit. Everybody has. But for the Cowboys, it feels like they can't get out of their own way sometimes, and that's the problem. They're kind of facing themselves. They've been immune to scoring points on offense. And you might say, well, look, they scored 34 against Washington. They put up 27 against New York. And that's what we're going to talk about this next key, which is the Cowboys special teams. In the Washington game, the special teams had 14 points. That unit propelled this team to a win against the Commanders. 2 big special team touchdowns was huge in winning that game. And to win this one against such a high-powered offense, they're going to have to do it again. You need a Turpin return for a touchdown, a kickoff return, punt return, blocked field goal, blocked punt. Whatever you can do to put points up on the board or give the offense a shorter field is going to be a huge win. Because I think Dallas is going to need at least 30 points to win this game, in my opinion, and even that doesn't really seem feasible without a couple of breaks on special teams or turnovers by the defense. Got to find a way to manufacture points other than the offense. With that said, our final key, which doesn't make me feel great about this game, it's a scary name to throw out there to rely on, but that's Cooper Rush. I know there are a few Cooper Rush believers out there, and if you're one of them, I need you to stand on it and let me know in the comments, because this game is going to come down to how well he plays. He's going to have to play better than what we've seen in the past few weeks. He's going to have to push the ball down the field, step up in the pocket, make big throws. If Rush was ever going to have a great game, this is the time to do it, facing off against Joe Burrow. I mentioned the special teams needing to step up, but you can't rely on that. That's a little bit fluky. You can't rely on special teams. You can't rely on the defense to put up points. So that means Rush has to be good. The run game has been awful. So it's kind of on him. Push the ball down the field, make a couple big-time throws. And I got to say, making that a key to the game, that worries me a lot. And it's why I'm not picking Dallas to win this game. I think there's just too much firepower on the Bengals offense, not enough firepower on the Cowboys offense, and it's just going to put way too much stress on different parts of this team. You ever heard of the saying, styles make fights? And stylistically, this is not one that I really like. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, the Bengals defense stinks, but so does the Cowboys offense, so it kind of equals out. And then the Cowboys defense stinks, but the Bengals offense is really good. That's a mismatch that's going to be hard to cover up for 4 quarters if your offense can't really do anything. So, with that said, some of you guys are going to be mad at me. I don't know the last time I picked the Cowboys to lose in a game preview. Don't really do game previews that much anymore, but this one was an interesting one because of the styles. But Bengals 38, Cowboys 27. How did Dallas manage to get to 27? I have no idea, but the Bengals are going to score a lot of points. The Cowboys are going to score more than usual, but not enough to win. So that's my score prediction. I don't feel great about this game. If you have a reason for me to feel better, comment it down below in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I love you all, and I'll see you next time. Bye.